bring that to you just after 8 o'clock.
Look forward to it, Del. Thank you very much. Now, if you have a young man in your house who hates sitting still, morning Tom, or yearns to perform, don't go anywhere.
The world's most awarded choreographer, Sir Matthew Bourne, is in town, bringing his Lord of the Flies production with him to Australia, and he's searching for raw young talent. Sir Matthew Bourne joins us now. Good morning and welcome to News Breakfast.
Good morning.
What are you looking for?
Well, we're looking for young men who are going to grasp this opportunity to become involved in a professional dance production by my company, be an integral part of it. So I'm looking for guys, young guys with passion, actually, for movement, for theatre.
Do they need to be trained ballet dancers?
Not at all. No training necessary. Just the passion to get involved and create something amazing.
What age range are you talking about?
Well, it can be anything, because some guys like myself, I got into dance when I was 22. I didn't do my first dance class until I was 22, so there might be some guys around who are a little bit older who've just got into this idea of getting involved with this, so they're welcome, but 8 upwards probably. We need some little ones.
Well, yes, we know, because, of course, we've all studied Lord of the Flies when we were at school. We know that scarifying story of humanity isolated and the mob mentality. And those very young ones get up to some very vicious things.
Yes, it's a story that it's very raw, and it does turn tragic, you know, in the end. And it's the young men involved in it, when we've done it in the UK, have got very involved in the story, and they understand it as well. They understand how cliques form and bullying happens at school, maybe, and those sort of things are very relevant to the young people. How
challenging is it for you and your company to mould these untrained young men into something resembling professional dancers?
Well, it wouldn't. If the subject wasn't Lord of the Flies, it might be very difficult. But the actual subject, the story, lends itself to young people who are essentially quite raw, because that's the story about these young guys who suddenly gradually turn savage. And it's the movement of that. You don't want it to be technical, really. You want it to be coming from inside, coming from a sort of raw passion. So I think it works very well for young men who have the enthusiasm for it, but are not. I don't think it would work with trained ballet dancers, for example. Yeah.
Matthew, it's so interesting to see all the work that you've done over the years, and your focus has almost exclusively been on the male form and the male dance, although, of course, you know, women in there as well.
Well, yes, they would argue with you on that one.
I know they would. Although I reckon there'd be some female ballet dancers who would look at you and go, "Oh, come on, write me a really big role, will you?"
I've done some good roles for women.
What is it about the male form that's so intriguing for you?
Well, there's something, but this is actually the first all-male production I've ever done. People call my Swan Lake all-male, but there are women in it. But this is there's something about the sort of brotherhood of men getting together, young men particularly, and sharing with each other, and not having the inhibitions that might be there if there were women there and young girls there as well. So there's something. I mean, for me, it's a powerful expression of masculinity, but also other sides to the male character.
We were just showing pictures of your adaptation of Swan Lake there. There they are again. Have many young men who've come to you untrained gone on to professional careers?
Well, this is the exciting thing now. This production has only been going for a few years, and some of the guys who did it a couple of years ago are now in training, and they'll be going to their 3rd year of training. And my real dream is that some of them will come into my company one day, who started from nothing, came through Lord of the Flies, and then joined New Adventures.
Fantastic.
For you, what is your company about? What are the abiding principles of the people that you hire and of the works that you create?
Well, I like a company that's very generous with audiences, actually, of dancers that are really passionate to give something to an audience, about telling stories. I'm all about breaking down the barriers. A lot of people decided they don't like dance, or they're not going to understand it. It's going to be difficult. And for me, my principle really is to tell a story to anyone. You don't need to have read anything or know anything before you come and see it.
We wish you all the best.
Well, before you went, I just wondered a couple of observations from you on the world of contemporary dance right now, because I think what's challenging for a lot of those visitors and theatre goers who might not sort of, be versed in it, now sort of telling the difference between great proficiency and technical skill and ability and what they might see with some contemporary dance as well. It's a similar response that people had, I guess, to abstract art, where they go, my 5-year-old could do that. And you look at some contemporary dance, you go, I could do that. You're not that much better than me. What's your view on this?
Well, I think all art should connect with people. You know, I mean, I probably am much more in that area of feeling that the work should connect. It should relate to people. If it doesn't, then what's the point of it? You know, if you're not making work for audiences, I don't see the point of it. I know some people will argue with me on that.
Yes.
That art for art's sake is, you know, and there is justification for that. But for me, it's about connecting with audiences.
And before we let you go, what was your knighthood like?
It was a very surreal occasion. It was great. I had Prince Charles. He was very charming and warm. I'd never met him before.
Does he pull out the sword? Does he tap you on the shoulder?
He actually does. You do the sword.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
It's the most ancient honour you can get.
And
Apparently.
at that point, do you have to try hard not to crack up?
Well, you're so concentrating on the choreography you've been given about steps and
That's
bows.
not hard
you'd
for
be
you.
perfect
Come
for
on.
that.
But I thought, yeah, the pressure was on for me.
Yeah,
If I got it
particular
wrong,
pressure,
you know.
yeah.
Don't stuff up the steps. Headline: Matthew Bourne stuffed up steps.
I was thinking about that the whole time. Don't get anything wrong.
Well, look, we hope you find some great talent in Australia. I'm sure you will.
I'm sure we will. Thank you.
Go well. Thanks so much. So there you go. So if you've got young people in your house, and they don't have to be trained dancers.
No. Better that they're not, actually.
Go
Raw.
on. Encourage Tom to do it. Reckon he would.
Yeah, good luck. He dances very well on the footy field, though, so it's
There
not
you
too
go.
far
That's
removed.
a balletic skill in itself.
Let's take you back to Rio now. And